What's up, race fans? Darkstar here, bringing you the ORL Mixed Terrain Championship. This is race number 1 on Corey Super Speedway. This took place last night at about 5:30. Unfortunately, several of the mixed terrain drivers did not show up for the race. Llama on Steroids was absent. Mr. Stylizing was absent. One of the favorites to win this championship, also Jake Bobius, also one of the favorites to win this championship. The 6 drivers that did show up, though, made one heck of a series out of it. They raced 3 races back to back, and they drove their hearts out, man. Epic race. Here you see Mighty Midget out to an early lead on Corey Super Speedway. He would hold the lead for most of the race, although he did exchange the lead several times with Vork from Team Superfly. But ultimately, the Mighty Midget was the best racer on this particular track on this particular day, and he would be triumphant. Here we see second lap coming in right here. Mighty Midget in the lead, Dark Lynx in second. That's Vork in third. As I said, Vork would take the lead and hold it for several laps, but ultimately the Mighty Midget would prevail. Mighty Midget racing from the International Division out of the UK. Everybody loves that dude's accent. One of my favorite drivers in the league. It was good to see him coming out and winning the first race of this series. Vork racing out of Canada, as I said, took the lead from him, held onto it for a little bit, but ultimately the Midget would prevail. This was one heck of a race, you guys. Alright, here's the results. Mighty Midget, Vork, Dark Lynx, Roman Soldier, Tripmine, and Dark Shadows in that order. Coming on to race number 2, this is a Grand Prix track called GP Blues. One of my favorite Grand Prix, probably I think it was the last one I ever made on Halo Reach. One of my favorites, lots of really buttery tapering. Check out the DIY channel for a tutorial on how to do epic tapering, like you see in this track right here. But here you see Roman Soldier out to an early lead on this race. Roman Soldier, he was my favorite to win this race. He's an excellent Grand Prix racer. He's definitely got the skill set to prevail in Grand Prix situations. However, he would not wind up prevailing. This was actually one of the most exciting races I've watched all season. This pack stayed really close together for most of the race. The first 4 positions were still really close together, even at the end of the race. That's one of the things I love about Grand Prix racing, is that you know, the races tend to stay really close. There were tons of lead changes. Dark Lynx, Mighty Midget led for probably the first half of this race. That's him out in front again. No, actually that's Roman out in front. Midget would take it from him a few laps later and hold it for probably 6 or 7 laps in the middle of the race. Unfortunately, Midget started counting his chickens before they were hatched and was talking about how he was going to win and he didn't even need to come to the last race. And then his race started to fall apart. And ultimately, Dark Lynx would find himself in first place at the end of this race. But there were tons of lead exchanges. Mighty Midget, like I said, had it. Dark Shadows held it for a couple laps. Mighty Midget held it. Roman Soldier had it. You know, this was one hell of a race, you guys. I mean, here's Mighty Midget and Roman Soldier side by side. Here's Midget. This is him taking the lead from Roman. That's Vork right behind him. Mighty Midget wanted this one bad. He was pretty upset towards the end of the race when he didn't pull it out and win. I'm showing you some extra footage from this race because it was such a great race. I would have loved to have done full coverage of this one, but there just isn't time enough in the day for me to get it all done and still have this championship coverage. Here's Dark Lynx in dead last. Now, as I said, he would ultimately prevail on this track, which just tells you, what an epic race it was. Dark Lynx coming back from last place to win. There's Vork off the side of the track, and I think that's Mighty Midget out in front, Roman in second, Dark Shadows in third right there. And then I think that's Tripmine and Dark Lynx. And then Vork right behind them. Here's Mighty Midget, slides out wide. Dark Shadows takes advantage, moves into first place. Roman Soldier side by side with Mighty Midget. One little mistake like that, just one tiny mistake, is all it takes on a Grand Prix track like this. You can't blame the physics. All you can blame is yourself. And Roman Soldier with the inside takes advantage and puts Mighty Midget back into third. And this is like 10 laps into it right here. I mean, this is still a battle for first. This was a great race. This is the kind of race I love to see, especially in the championships. Dark Shadows starting to pull away there. There's Dark Shadows out in front still, slides out wide, mistimes his braking. Dark Lynx pulls up right next to him. And here's one of the most epic moments of the race, is Dark Lynx right at that moment was trying to bargain with Dark Shadows to let him win this race, and he would help him win the next race. Right when Dark Shadows forces, right when Dark Lynx forces Dark Shadows into the wall. Epic race, but here's the results. Dark Lynx, Mighty Midget, Bork, Roman Soldier, Dark Shadows, and Tripmine in that order. Here are the standings after those two races. You can see first, second, and third place all 1 point apart, leaving race 3 anybody's race to win. This was an intense race. These guys, there was a lot of dirty driving in here. A lot of people were yelling at Midget. A lot of people were yelling at Dark Lynx. But ultimately, I think every single driver in this race trolled every other driver in this race. I mean, this is the last race of the season. It was close in the standings up to this point, and ultimately, all friendships are off. All team associations are off. You want to win. This is your last chance to win the freaking championship. And like I said, this was a messy race. There were tons of wrecks. Tripmine finally found his rhythm in this race and led for probably 2/3 of the race. It was good to see him make a comeback. He had a tough time in the first 2 races. It was good to see him come back and remind people that he does deserve to be in this championship series. But there he is right there with a big lead at the end of the first lap. Second, third, fourth place, all just not giving each other space. Brutal racing on this very technical Supercross track. Now, this is mixed terrain. These guys race all styles of tracks, and this is probably the toughest track that they raced on this day. There's Tripmine still out in front. I think that's Dark Lynx in second. And ultimately, the man Dark Lynx would prevail on this track. Tripmine started getting a little sloppy towards the end of the race. Dark Lynx took advantage, moved into first place. Like I said to you guys, this is one heck of a series right here. That was Tripmine going over that berm right before the finish, letting the rest of the pack catch up to him. But that's the series, you guys. This is one heck of a night of racing. These guys all put their hearts into it. My respect goes out to every single one of them. Here are those race results. Dark Lynx, Roman Soldier, Dark Shadows, Tripmine, the Mighty Midget, and Bork in that order. And here are the final standings. Mixed terrain champion, Dark Lynx. Now, Dark Lynx, you take a lot of crap from a lot of people. You drive dirty a lot, but I watched you race all night, and you earned it, buddy. Congratulations.